Words appear. Learning Together with Zoe Fiogkos and Victor Gouveia announcing. On Whose Blind Life Is It Anyway? And Zoe's Blind Kitchen Corner. The Blind Perspective Network. Brought to you by VIP Tech and Greek Auto Services. Welcome to Learning Together here on Whose Blind Life Is It Anyway? Sponsored by VIP Tech. I am your announcer, Victor Gouveia. Remember, if you like what you're about to hear, activate the like button and share it with your friends and family, especially if you think they can benefit from anything that's said here. And subscribe, activating the notification bell so you're notified when we go live or upload a new video. Additionally, we are live streaming on our Facebook page, Whose Blind Life Is It Anyway? And on Twitter at Blind Whose. That's BLIND WHOSE. Alternatively, if you don't like any of those formats, you might benefit from podcasts. If you have an iDevice, an Android device, an Amazon device, or a Windows device, we are available on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and on Amazon Podcasts. So if you ask Alexa to play Whose Blind Life Is It Anyway?, she'll go out and find it for you. Also, if you want a copy of the audio or video of this recording, send us an email, whoseblindlifeisitanyway@gmail.com, and we will send you a link to the folder on Dropbox that houses all of the episodes we broadcast on the network. On this week's Learning Together, Zoe describes the dock on the Mac OS and the context menu, how best to benefit from it, and how you can use it to your advantage. So now, your host, Zoe Fiogkos.
Hi everybody, welcome to another episode of Learning Together. And as promised, we are going to focus on the dock today. I'm just going to give you a basic navigation of the dock, what I think is important. As always, if you have questions or you want clarification or maybe a deeper explanation if possible, please send me an email at zoesblindkitchencorner@gmail.com. And of course, when you view these videos, the email address will be in the description box. As well, you can always get a hold of Victor Gouveia at whoseblindlifeisitanyway@gmail.com. And you can also send a message through Victor to me. And of course, you can always ask questions in the comment section below. Okay, so I thought about it a little bit, about what I should do. Should I explore the menu bar in more detail, or the Apple menu, or the menu extras? It's a little hard with everybody has a different learning capacity. Everybody has a different level of comprehension. So you may have to go back and forth on these videos to remind yourself of something, or to get a clarification, or of course send me a message. Now, I'm trying to tape these videos sort of what's the word I'm looking for? I'm trying to tape these videos in what I think would be a good process of how to do things. Now, somebody might say to me, well, you're showing us how to use the menu bar in the dock, but you haven't gotten to the voiceover utility, and maybe we need to set up a few things. I understand. I thought navigation was important. However, you're going to say to me, if you don't know how to use VoiceOver on the Mac, how are you going to navigate? I totally agree, and I totally understand. So I do promise that our next video, or maybe a few videos, will be on the VoiceOver utility. I hope that I haven't confused you guys too much with the order I chose to show you these things. So anyhow, okay, let's move on to the dock. So, and again, quick reminder, keyboard help is VoK, turning VoiceOver on and off is Command F5, and Apple menu is VoM, menu extras is VoMM, and now we're going to go to the dock. So now we need a new command, and our new command is VoD, D as in Delta, obviously D for dock. So dock is, I guess, DOC, so D for dock. So VoD, and we're going to press Vo.
Option, Control, Zoom.us. You are currently on it.
Okay, no. So as soon as I
Control.
pressed VoD, she announced Zoom.us, which is an app that I have on my dock. Many of you may be familiar with the Zoom app. That's not what we're talking about today, so I'm not going to get into what that is for those who don't know, because we're not going to talk about specific apps today. Today, we're just going to focus on the dock. Now, the reason she said Zoom app is because that's the last item that I was, that my cursor, my VoiceOver cursor, the last time I was in the dock, my VoiceOver cursor was on Zoom. That's why she's saying that. Sometimes VoiceOver will start at the beginning. So I'm going to press escape.
Finder, desktop, blind kisses, folder.
So
You are
now
currently on a
she went to my desktop.
Control.
And she's announcing, again, she's announcing the last folder or item on my desktop that I visited, that my VoiceOver cursor was on. So if I press VoD again,
Control, Option, Zoom.us.
she goes back to Zoom.us because I didn't move my cursor. So I'm just going to arrow right.
iCloud Drive, Downloads, Trash, Finder. You are currently on a
So now we're at the beginning of
Control.
the dock where your Finder is. So I'm going to press escape.
Finder, desktop, blind kisses, folder. You are currently on a folder.
And she's announcing what's on my desktop. Don't worry about that. Again, I'm going to press VoD and listen now what she says.
Dock Finder. You are currently on an application dock item.
So now she said Finder,
Control.
because when we hit escape to get out of the dock, my VoiceOver cursor, the last item it was on, was Finder. So, very easy to get to the dock. VoD. You're going to use that command over and over again. And I'm going to press escape again.
Finder, desktop, blind kisses, folder. You are currently on a folder.
Now listen again, and I'm not going to tell you what I'm pressing, just listen.
Finder. You are currently on an application dock item.
She said, Finder,
Control.
you are currently on an application dock item. I just demonstrating again that this time I didn't press VoD, I pressed, pardon me, caps lock D. So for those of you out there who want to choose to complain about VoiceOver uses too many key combinations, sometimes it does, I'm not going to lie, but sometimes it doesn't. Or there's always a workaround. Well, not always, but sometimes. So in this case, I pressed two keys, caps lock D. So just like on Windows, you would press insert and a letter key for JAWS. Same thing on VoiceOver. I'm using the caps lock key plus D to get to the dock. Now, if I arrow through with just my, I'm not pressing anything but my right arrow key.
System preferences, text edit, notes, pages, mail, Safari, music.
All right.
You are currently on an application dock item. To open this application, press Control, Option, Space.
So again, I arrowed through my dock. I didn't go through the whole thing. I wasn't using the VoKeys. and I was just arrowing right, which I could arrow left, right. If I missed the app I want, I can just press my left arrow.
Safari, mail. You are currently on an application dock item. To open this application, press Control, Option, Space.
So again, if I use my Vo keys to arrow across, when I get to the end of the dock, she's not going to wrap around to the beginning. When I don't press my Vo keys, I can arrow right and left in my dock to get to the app I want. Now, I'm going to press Escape again.
Make Finder, Desktop, Blind Kisses, Folder. You are currently on a folder, dock.
Okay, I'm in the dock. I didn't bother letting her tell you where I am. If you remember what I told you 2 minutes ago, I should be on the mail app because that was the last thing my voiceover cursor was on. I didn't let her tell you because if you don't want to use your arrow keys, you can also use first letter navigation. So if I press the letter D.
Control, Downloads. You are currently on a folder. To open this folder, press Control,
Okay.
Control.
She's saying Control because I'm shutting her up. I pressed D and she said Download folder. If I press the letter F.
Finder. You are currently on an application dock item. To open this application, press Control, Option, Space.
She goes to Finder. Now, first letter navigation, some people love it, some people hate it. Again, you have options. Just like you do with Windows and JAWS, you can do first letter navigation, you can do arrow keys. Now, if you do want to use first letter navigation, if I hit the letter M, listen. Oops.
Mail. You are currently on an application dock item. To open this application, press Control, Option, Space.
So I hit M and she said mail. Problem is I don't want mail. I want music. So what do? Do you press M again? Well, let's try it. I mean, I know what happens, but I'm going to let you hear what happens. So if I press M again, I'm pressing it. She's not saying anything. But if I were to press, pardon me. If I were to press MU.
Music. You are currently on an application dock.
So because
Control.
there's more than one item with the letter M, she'll go to the first one. When you first press M, she'll go to the first item, which is, in my case, it's mail. I wanted music, so I had to press MU, but I could press...
Make messages. You are currently on an application dock item. To open this application, press Control, Option, Space.
So what I just pressed now was ME to get to messages. So you get the idea. If you have items on your dock that start with the same letter, you have to press the second letter so that you can get to it. If you don't want to do that, you can just use the arrow keys to get to what you want. If you don't want to do that, so in my case, I have mail, messages, music. And let's say, if I don't want to use the first letter navigations because I have to press ME or MU or MA or whatever the case is, I could use my arrow keys. But I know that on my dock, I only have one item that starts with a D, and that's my downloads folder. Now, I have to tell you that my downloads folder is all the way at the sort of to the end of the dock. And if I'm on the Finder, when I get to the dock, if she announces Finder, I'm all the way to the left at the beginning of the dock. So if I want to get to the right and I don't want to arrow across, that's where I would use my, I would press D.
Downloads. You are currently on a folder. To open this folder, press Control, Option, Space.
And she takes me to the downloads folder. As always, VoiceOver announces that to open something, Vo space. But again, I'm going to press the return key.
Downloads menu. You are currently in the menu.
In this case, because it's a folder, she popped up a menu. And if I arrow down, listen.
4 learning together the map menu bar. 3 learning to get 2 learning 2 tip 1 tips, tricks, and how to. Introducing the pin friend mob.
Okay. She's basically announcing items that I have in my download folder. If I keep arrowing down,
vegan loaded Greeks vegan chocolate pudding part 2 mod.
Again, this is
you are
all
currently on the menu item. To choose this menu item.
For those who follow me on Zoe's Blind Kitchen
Control.
Corner, these are all my recipes that are going to air in the future. But let's keep going.
Greeks part 2 of intro. South Tusk episode Pastitsi soft from iPhone. Sub options submenu.
Okay.
You are currently on the menu item. To choose this menu.
Once she went through the whole
Control.
all the contents of the folder, she announced options. So when I hit the return button, when I'm on the dock and I'm on the downloads folder and I hit the return button, it pops up a menu. But
Finder, desktop,
I'm going to show you
blind
something
kisses.
else now. I'm going to hit
Control.
I hit escape to get out of there. I'm going to hit Vote D again.
Option. Downloads.
Okay.
You are currently on a folder. To open this folder, press Control, Option, Space.
And I'm going to go to
Text Edit.
Text Edit.
You are currently on an application doc item.
And I actually just hit T to
Control.
get to Text Edit because I know that I only have one item with T. So if I hit Enter on this.
Finder, desktop, blind, text edit, open, window, list view,
Okay. No menu popped
Control.
up. Text Edit is an app. So when I hit Enter, it just opens up the app. Where when I hit Enter on the Downloads folder, it opened up a menu. But let's just say let me quit Text Edit, hold on.
Command, Finder, desktop.
Okay. And I pressed Command
Control.
Q to quit Text Edit. And I'm going to hit Vote D.
Option, text edit. You are currently on an application doc item. To open.
I don't want to open the app.
Control.
I want the context menu. You would press
Control.
Shift M.
Text edit menu. You are currently in a menu.
So she said text edit menu. And if I arrow through this.
Episode 3 episode 8 Magic Smarty Cookie Bar.
So she's giving me a whole bunch of files
Control.
that I have saved through text edit, which is my recipes. And if I keep going down quickly.
On top options, submenu.
We
you
get
are currently
to
on the menu item.
Options.
Show recents.
Show recents.
You are currently on the open.
Open.
You are currently on the menu item.
So if I want,
Control.
that's one way I can open text edit through my context menu. Or I can check my options for text edit. Or I want to get quickly to one of the notes that I've saved in text edit. And I would hit that. So let's go back up, for example.
Show options, submenu.
Actually,
you are currently Untitled 2 episode 9 Caramel Crispy Rolls.
All right.
Crispy themed treat.
Let's just say I want to remind myself
Control.
of this recipe.
5 text edit. Episode 9 Caramel.
So I hit space
Zoe's
bar.
Kitchen Corner at gmail.com.
Quiet.
Part 3 of 3 on
Okay.
Featuring George.
Hold
Caramel
on.
Crispy Rolls. 2 cups brown sugar. Finder.
Okay. So what happened
Control.
was, when I got to the note that I have saved previously, which was episode 9, Crispy Caramel Rolls featuring George, I hit the space bar and it opened up the note for me. The specific note. So the Vo Shift M is kind of like your application's key on Windows. That is your right, sort of your simulation of your right mouse click. So for example, I'm going to...
Option, text edit.
I hit Vo D, and I'm going to go to...
System preferences.
System preferences, just another app on the dock.
Control.
And I'm going to hit...
Shift.
Now.
System preferences, menu. You are currently in a menu.
I hit caps lock, Shift M. So your caps lock key is right above your Shift key. So if you don't want to hold down sorry, let me escape.
Finder, desktop, blind kisses, folder.
Okay. If
You are currently on the folder.
Stop. If you don't want to hold down Control, Option, Shift, M to get to the context menu, because that's 1, 2, 3, plus your letter key, let's say that's 4 keys, you can lessen it to 3 by using the caps lock here, which of course is right next to your shift, on top of your shift key. So Control, caps lock, shift. Oops.
Shift.
Caps lock, shift,
menu,
M. And you hear a menu popping up.
Open. Move to trash. Open.
Okay,
blind
and it
kisses,
gives you...
folder.
Now
You are currently on a folder.
I actually just did that on a folder on my desktop, but it's the same thing. So when you're in the dock and you want to access the menu for that, you have 2 ways of doing it. One we said is caps lock, shift M, or Shift M. You choose what suits you better. You're going to need the context menu. So the other 2 things that I'm going to show you about the dock is the Mac comes preloaded with items on the dock. There are settings to move the dock elsewhere on your Mac. Let's say, I don't know why. I don't think it matters to a blind person, but you can have it you can have your dock going vertically from top to bottom, let's say on the left-hand side of the screen. Or you can have it at the bottom, or whatever the case may be. I'm not going to get into those options because that's later on. We'll go through all that, but because we'll take everything in order when we get to system preferences and so on and so forth. I just want to focus on the dock on the desktop today. Now, the Mac comes preloaded with a few items on the dock, like I said. For example, Finder, system preferences, and maybe a few others. I think TV and I don't know. I can't remember now. It's been so long when I got it that I don't remember. But let's say you want to add something to the dock, or you want to remove something. So let's go to sorry guys, give me a second. I'm going to go to my Finder.
Control, system preferences. You are currently on an application dock item. Finder. Finder, Mac.
Now, I know some of you
Control.
out there, like every Windows user, and I was the same way, are probably thinking, what the heck is your Finder? Your Finder, you know, I never got a extremely in-depth description of what the Finder is. What I think the Finder is exactly what it says. It's your Finder. Anything you need on the Mac, you can find through your Finder. Maybe it's kind of like your Windows, this PC area. You can find a whole bunch of things there. The Finder is always there. It's always running. Don't touch the Finder. You can't get rid of it. If it's not behaving, there is a way to restart it, but when we deal with the Finder, we'll talk about that. So I'm in the Finder window.
Status bar, icon view, collect vertical splitter, sidebar, table.
Okay. I know you guys aren't too great with navigating certain windows, but what I just did is I pressed my V keys, and my left arrow until I got to what's called the sidebar, which we said is like your tree view on Windows, and we'll talk about that another time. I'm going to interact.
Control, option, in sidebar, table.
Now, as I go arrow down.
Expanded 11 items in applications, folder. You are currently on a cell 2 items, inside of a table, users, folder. You are currently on a cell 2 items, inside of a table, to navigate control, option, Dropbox, level, favorites, expanded 11 items in closed level, Dropbox, airdrop, recents, application, desktop, documents, downloads, searching this, Google Chrome, iMovie app, blind kisses.
Okay. So basically, I pressed my Vo keys and arrow down, and you heard a whole bunch of things. For argument's sake, I've moved a folder called Blind Kisses to my sidebar. It wasn't originally there. I've actually moved it there for us, and we'll talk about that, how to move things into your sidebar another time. Because today we're concentrating on the dock. Let's pretend that I don't have this folder on my desktop. I do have it on my desktop, but let's pretend we don't. But we want this folder. This is a folder that I access every day, and I want to have easy access. I don't want to clutter my desktop. I want it on my dock. Let's say that's your way of thinking, and you want to add it to your dock. I wouldn't add too many folders on your dock. Add your things you use on a daily basis, like your mail, your music, maybe your text edit, apps that you really, really use. Now, if you want to add 1 or 2 folders because that's your preference and you say, I don't care what Zoe says, I absolutely need this folder. Remember, you have the option to add it to your desktop as well. Okay, but let's just say your preference is you want to add it to the dock. Okay, so I'm going to press caps lock, Shift M.
Shift menu.
So while my voiceover cursor is on the folder called Blind Kisses, I pressed the caps lock, Shift M, and a menu popped up. So I'm going to arrow through it and listen.
Open a new tab. Show an enclosing get info. Rename blind. Remove from add to dock. Okay. You are currently on a menu item. To choose.
So she gave us a whole bunch of options that I didn't bother letting you guys listen to because that we're not really talking about the sidebar today. But the last item there is add to dock. So I'm going to press enter on that.
Blind Kisses. Row 12, cell 2 items.
Now, she didn't announce anything, but let's see if it worked. We're going to press Vo D.
Option. Finder. You are currently on an application.
She's announcing Finder because that was the last item that we were on. Let's press B and see what happens.
Blind Kisses. You are currently on a folder. To open.
So now that folder has been, you heard, she said Blind Kisses. That folder has been added to my dock. Okay? Now, I'm going to just close I'm going to go back up to the window. Give me a second.
Command. Finder. Blind Kisses. Window. Blind Kisses. Row 12, cell 2 items. Command. Close window. Blind.
Okay. I forgot that the Finder's not an application. It's more, I had to use Command W. So I do still get mixed up where I have to use the Command W and the Command Q. I have to keep reminding myself that Command W is for folders and stuff like that, and Command Q is for apps. But anyways, I ended up closing that. So now I'm going to go back to the dock.
Option Control. Blind Kisses.
And now she's saying Blind Kisses because that was the last thing we were on. Now listen.
Control. Blind Kisses. Menu. You are currently in a menu.
So she said Blind Kisses menu because I pressed caps lock Shift M. Okay? If I Vo arrow.
Option. Sort by dimmed. Sort by dimmed.
She gives me some options.
You are check mark. Date added. Date modify. Date create. Kind. Display as folder. Check mark. View content. Fan. Grid. List. Check mark. Options. Submenu. Open Blind Kisses. Open Blind Options. Submenu.
Okay. So she gave me a few items, okay? Now, I was pressing Vo arrow keys.
Open Blind Kisses. Check mark. Name.
If I don't use the Vo, she wraps around to the top. So I'm going to press my arrow up arrow key to go back down to where it says open.
Open Blind Kisses.
And
you are currently on a menu item. To choose this menu item, press Control, Option, Space. To close this menu, press Escape.
Again, I'm going to press 1 up because I want to get to Options.
Options, Submenu.
And
you are currently on a menu item.
Submenu. So I'm going to press my arrow right.
Options, Submenu, Remove from dock. You are currently on a menu item. To choose this menu item, press Control, Option, Space. To close this menu, press Escape.
And she said Remove from dock. The first option that popped up in my submenu for this folder that we added to the dock is remove it from the dock. So I'm going to do that.
Finder, desktop, Blind Kisses, fold.
So I pressed enter and she went back to my desktop. Let's confirm if Blind Kisses is gone from the dock. So I'm going to press Vo D.
Finder. You are current.
Look at that. She said
Control.
Finder. That wasn't the last item we were on. We were on Blind Kisses. But you see, Blind Kisses isn't there anymore. And if I press B, nothing happens because Blind Kisses is gone. So I'm going to open up Finder again, and I'm going to show you guys something else.
Finder. Macintosh 8. Vertical split. Sidebar. In sidebar. Table.
Okay, so I'm in the sidebar again,
Row
and I'm
one.
going
Expanded
to...
11 items in closed level. Dropbox. Recents. Applications.
I'm arrowing
You
down.
are desktop. Down. Searching. Google. iMovie. Blind Kiss. iCloud. Blind Kisses.
Okay, until I got to Blind Kisses. You can use the menu to add it to the dock, but I will give you a command. If you don't like commands, because there's a lot of keys to it, you know you can get to that item from the menu. But you can press Command, which is next to your space bar, Control, which is the first key on your keyboard. So Command, Control. Hold on, guys. Okay. I've got my right finger on the T from my right hand, and with my left hand, I'm going to press Command, Control, Shift,
Add to dock.
T. As soon as I did that, she said add to dock. So Command, Control, Shift, T adds your item to the dock. And if you saw the difference, when we added the item, Blind Kisses, when we added it to our dock through the menu, she didn't say add to dock, but she did do it. Now, when we use the Command, Control, Shift, T, she added it to the dock. So there's always a few ways of doing things, just like on Windows. These are two different ways. Now I'm going to close Finder by pressing Command W.
Close window. Blind Kisses.
And she said close window. I'm going to go back to the dock.
Option. Finder. You are currently on an application.
The last thing we were on was Finder,
Control.
so she said Finder. I'm going to press B.
Blind Kisses.
And
You are
there's
currently
your
on a folder.
and there's your Blind Kisses.
Control.
Now I have to tell you that I have this folder on my desktop. And if I wanted to, let's say you put something on your desktop and you changed your mind, you don't want it on your desktop. Well, you can put it on the dock and then delete your folder. So I'm going to show you, again, because we're dealing with the dock and not the desktop today, I'm going to remove it from the dock and then I'm going to go to the folder on the desktop. So listen.
Shift. Blind Kisses.
Sorry.
Control. Option. Trash. Blind Kisses. You are currently on a folder. To open this folder. Option. Control. Open Blind Kisses. Options. Submenu. Options. Submenu. Remove from dock. Option. List. Finder.
Okay. So I've removed it from the dock. And I'm going to go to my desktop by using Shift D or Caps Lock Shift D, whichever you prefer.
Shift. Desktop group.
She announced desktop group.
It's 8 o'clock.
And if I arrow, nothing happens. But if I press my keys.
Option. Control. Prayers. Folder. Zoe's Blind Kitchen. Zoe's Blind Kit. Zoe's Prayers. Blind Kisses. Folder.
Okay. I arrowed back and forth. And we got to the Blind Kisses folder. So if I Shift M, remember we said that's your context menu, or Caps Lock Shift M.
Menu. Control.
Okay. I'm on a folder on my desktop called Blind Kisses.
Open. York. Move to trash. Send with backup to drop. Move to Dropbox. Get info. Rename. Compress Blind Kit. Duplicate. Make alias. Quick look Blind Kit. Share. Submenu. Quick actions. Copy Blind Kisses. Import from iPhone. Use stacks. Sort by. Clean up selection. Show view options. Tags. Folder action setup ellipsis. New terminal tab with New terminal with open. You are currently on a menu item.
So I just went through the whole entire menu for that folder on the desktop. Notice something? It didn't give me anything called add to dock. When we were looking at the folder in the Finder, it did give me add to dock. But now, if you don't want to explore and try to figure it out, you've got the folder on your desktop, we're going to use the command. So I'm going to escape from the menu.
Desktop group. You are currently in a group. Prayers folder. Zoe's blind kitchen. Zoe prayers. Blind kisses.
Okay, we're on the folder we want.
Control.
And I'm going to press command. Control. Sorry. Command, Control, Shift,
add to dock.
T. Guess what? She said add to dock. When I used the add to dock command, Command, Control, Shift, T, she said add to dock. So let's see if that folder's there now.
Control. Finder.
So
You are currently on an application.
I pressed Vo D. She landed me on the Finder. Let's see if Blind Kisses is back in the dock.
Blind Kisses. You are currently...
Yes, it is. So
Control.
that's how you add and remove items from your dock. You can do it through the context menus. You can do it with the, I don't know of a keyboard command to remove from the dock. I would use the context menu there, which we said the context menu is Vo Shift M. You're going to need that command because that's your right-click mouse simulation. That's your, that's your application's key on Windows. And again, if you don't want to use Vo Shift M, use Caps Lock Shift M. So 3 keys. There's a lot of commands on JAWS that use 3 keys. So don't start complaining that too many keys. And what was I saying? What was my, I lost my train of thought for a second. So yeah, so that's how you remove from the dock and that's how you add from the dock. As I said, adding from the dock, if you're actually in a window like your files, or sorry, your window, your Finder window or your, documents window or something like that, I guess, you can add folders or apps through the menu or with Command, Control, Shift T. So the last thing I'm going to show you for today, which pertains to the dock, is you've added a whole bunch of things. There's a whole bunch of things that are, preloaded onto the dock. If you don't like using first letter navigation, or just because you can, or just because that's your preference, or whatever the case may be, let's say you want your mail app to be as close to the beginning of the dock as possible. I just chose a random app, okay? It doesn't matter. I'm going to escape from where I was.
Finder, desktop, Blind Kisses, folder.
I'm going to press Vo D.
Option, Control, Blind Kisses.
Okay, now she landed us on Blind Kisses because that was the last item we were on. I'm going to click M for Mike.
Mail. You are.
And she takes me to mail.
Control.
Now, in my case, Finder.
Control, pages, notes, text edit, system prep, Finder.
Finder is the first item.
Finder.
Finder is your first item on the dock. Then I have
system preferences, text edit, notes, pages, mail.
So mail is something like my 6th item. But let's say I decide I don't want it there. I don't want to arrow through the keys. I don't want to use first letter. For whatever reason, you want to move it. This is so easy. You press Command, Option, and your left arrow key. And listen to what happens.
Mail moved to the left of pages.
So she just said mail moved to the left of pages. I'm going to do it again. Command,
Mail, Option,
and left arrow.
Mail moved to the left of notes. Mail moved to the left of text edit. Mail moved to the left of system preferences.
Okay. So now, if I arrow left and right...
Option, Finder.
Finder is my first item. And
Control,
then...
Mail.
Now mail has become my second item. But let's say I made a mistake. No, that's not where I wanted it. So I would again press Command, Option, and now I'm going to press my right arrow key.
Mail moved to the right of system preferences.
Now she said mail moved to the right of system preferences, which basically puts my mail as my third item on my dock.
Control, Option, System Pref, Finder.
Finder's my first.
Finder. System pref mail.
Now mail is my third item. So, for example, Blind Kisses, which has to do with my bracelet business, bracelet making business. Let's say I use this folder on a daily basis. Now, for the purposes of this video, I moved it to the dock. I do have it on my desktop, but let's just say that I want that folder. I don't want it all the way to the end of the dock, because right now, if I were to not use first letter navigation and I just arrow, listen to where Blind Kisses is.
Text edit, notes, pages, Safari, music, podcast, TV, calendar, photos, contact, messages, FaceTime, App Store, reminders, Launchpad.
Oh boy.
Google Chrome, preview, QuickTime Play, Zoom.u, iCloud Drop, downloads, Blind Kisses. Trash. Blind Kisses.
So, Blind Kisses is the second last item on the dock. Now this is a folder. So can we move this to where we want? We're going to press Command.
Blind Kisses.
Option. Left arrow.
Blind Kisses move to the left of downloads. Blind Kisses move to the left of iCloud Drive.
Alrighty. So folders, at least I don't know of a way, can't be moved to your main dock area. So good time to tell you that your dock is split up into a few sections. Listen.
Control, Option, Separator. You are currently on...
Did you hear that? That's a separator.
Control.
Now.
Option, Blind Kisses, Separator. You are currently on a separator. To open this item, press Control, Option, Space.
So I'm on a separator. So that separator is blocking me from moving it. Let's see what happens if I interact with it.
Shift. In separator. 15.12 inches tall, 0.67 inches wide.
Well, now, she's changing the size of it.
13.39 inches tall, 0.61 inches wide.
Does that make a difference? Let's see. I'm going to stop interacting.
Shift. On off separator. Blind Kisses. Separator. Zoom.us. Separator.
Can I
you are currently
still
on a
move?
separator. To open this item,
Let's
press Control,
try.
Option, Space.
She's not allowing me. So.
Blind Kisses.
Whoops.
You are currently on a folder. Blind Kisses move to the left of Zoom.us. Command. Option.
Sorry. There she goes.
Blind Kisses move to the left of QuickTime Player. Blind Kisses move to the left of Preview. Blind Kisses move to the left of Google Chrome.
Okay. So now she ended up letting me move because I enlarged my separator. But now I've reached another separator. Can we do the same thing? Let's see. I'm on a separator, so I'm going to interact with the separator.
Option, Control, Shift. Interact with the title of folder.
Sorry, arrow down. I guess I was on the wrong place. Hold on.
Finder, Desktop, Blind Kisses, Folder, Option, Blind Kisses, Separator, Launchpad, Separator, Blind Kisses, Separator. You are currently on a separator. To open this item, press Control, Option, Space, in separator.
Okay, sorry about that. So what I did is I found my separator and I interacted with it. And I'm going to press my arrow keys.
Launchpad.
Whoops.
You are Blind Kisses. You are currently on a folder. To open this folder, press Control, Option, Space, Command, Option. Option,
Sorry,
Control,
guys.
Separator.
Give me a second.
In separator.
Okay.
Option, Control, 11.16 inches tall, 0.5 inches wide. 9.43 inches tall, 0.43 inches wide. On off separator.
So again, I interacted with the separator and I hear a few numbers. Let's go back to Blind Kisses.
Blind Kisses. You
Let's
are currently on a
press
folder. To open Command, Blind Kisses, Option.
Command, Option, left arrow. Guess what?
Blind Kisses move to the right of Google Chrome. Blind Kisses move to the left of Google Chrome.
She still doesn't allow me to move it. Could that be
Option, Control, Separator.
because I
You are
didn't
currently on a separator.
I didn't edit the separator enough?
Control,
Well, let's
Control.
try it. Vo shift down
Shift, in separator.
to interact with the separator.
Control, Option.
Vo left arrow.
7.71 inches tall, 0.37 inches wide. 5.94 inches tall, 0.28 inches wide. On-off separator.
Okay. So I clicked a few, I did a few Vo left arrow, and I stopped interacting.
Blind kisses.
I'm back on the Blind Kisses folder.
To open this folder, press.
I'm going to press Command,
Blind Kisses,
Option, left arrow, and nothing happens. So, the sections on the dock, there's 3 sections. Your main section where your preloaded stuff comes, well, I shouldn't say that, but anyways, your main section, and then you have 2 other sections with separators. So you can move things in the dock where Blind Kisses is.
Option, Google Chrome, separator, preview, QuickTime Player, Zoom.u, iCloud Drop, downloads, trash.
Now,
You are download, iCloud Drive, Zoom.u at QuickTime Player, preview, separator, in separator, 4.40, on-off separator, Google Chrome, Blind Kisses. You are currently on a folder. To open this folder, press Control, Option.
Okay, so you can play around with those separators so that you can make them as big or as small as you want for those last items on the dock. But you can't move certain things from that section to the main section of the dock. Now, that may sound really confusing, but I wouldn't worry about it. If you want to add something to the dock, we said Command Control Shift T, or use your context menu. You want to move an icon to the left or the right, you can. At least from the main area, you can move, you know, a whole bunch of them. And then from that second and third area with the separators, you can move your separators, you can move those around. So that's how you add things to the dock. That's how you remove things from the dock. And that's how you move your icons in the dock. I may have confused you guys with the separators, and I'm sorry about that. Just remember, move an item to the left is Command, Option, left arrow. Move an item on the dock to the right is Command, Option, right arrow. Adding something to the dock, use your context menu or Command, Control, Shift T. And removing from the dock, use your context menu. And that's all there is to the dock. Now, and of course, your context menu, Vo Shift M, which you're not going to use only on the dock. Your Vo Shift M or Caps Lock Shift M, whichever one you prefer, you are going to use that throughout the Mac. So remember these commands. I will let you ponder on all of that because I know it's a lot to take in. But right now, you're a newbie on the Mac. You want to fool around with your dock. You want to fool around with your menu bars. You know how to turn VoiceOver on, even if it's not to your preferences. And you can at least play around with your desktop and do all the investigation. So I hope that made it easy to understand the dock. Again, I apologize for getting those separators involved. Maybe I should have left that out. But just ignore that for now. It's not important. You know how to add, remove, and move. And context menu. So that's it for today. Love you guys as always. And see you on the next episode.
Catch Learning Together with Zoe Fiogkos on Whose Blind Life Is It Anyway? And Zoe's Blind Kitchen Corner every Fridays at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific.